All right, guys, so welcome back. Good to see everyone again. Day number 4. Week's been flying by. A big hearty hello to Elise for coming on back. Elise said that I bought KeyFast and Social Beam from yesterday. Wonderful stuff, which love to hear. KeyFast is a game changer. I was thinking about it last night when I was working on something, and I was doing all the things that we went over, and I was like, I just got to download this. We also have R. Franco in the chat, says, hi, everyone. Hello to Albert. The machine must work, says hello, but the machine must work will also be on the stream in just a few minutes. I want to say hi to Megan and Katerina over on Behance. It's good to have you guys. My name is Ryan Selvey. If you are tuning in for the very first time, we are doing a week-long of streams for the last week of AE Summer Sale. AE Scripts. I put this together. AE Scripts and AE Plugins Summer Sale, week 4. Tomorrow's the last day to get 25% off.
Amazing.
25% off of really cool products. And we've been going over a bunch of them throughout the week. You can catch all the replays in the live stream tab on Behance and also in the video section on YouTube. So make sure you check those out if you want to get a hands-on approach to any of the plugins that we talk about. Today, if you're here live, also hi, Jack. If you guys are here live, we love to hear from you. We love to talk to the chat. Annika's here. Happy birthday. Everyone say happy birthday, Annika, over on Behance. Thank you. Welcome to Duke, who gave us an OWOO instead of an UWOO. It's good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. And we are going to be having the Machine Must Work on today. I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro, and then we're going to bring in Lloyd, who's the creator of AE scripts and AE plugins. Then we'll talk a little bit more about the site. We'll talk a little bit about how you download some extensions, and then we'll bring in Henrique from the She Must Work. So here we go. All right. Hey, Lloyd, how's it going?
Good, man. How's it going?
Good to see you. 4th day in a row. Are you sick of me yet?
No, not yet. You're a very likable guy.
Oh, okay.
That's
well, that's
a good
always
thing and a bad thing. I don't know.
No, I mean, who knows? Duke also over on YouTube says, happy birthday, Annika. Crossing channels for you, but it's great to have you guys here. So, Lloyd, how's your day going? How are you feeling about day 4? What are you excited about going over today?
Well, the sales are always busy times. Am I muted? No, I'm good. The sales is always a really busy time. We're just like increased everything, increased traffic, increased support, increased launching products. One of which I literally just launched the new product from the Machine Must Work. So we were able to get this out just before the launch. I mean, just
stream exclusive.
Yeah, stream exclusive.
And we'll go over that too today as we're going through all the products and stuff, and we'll give you guys the first look at what is for sale now. But if you go to aescripts.com, you'll see that it brings you straight to the sales all right here, very first right here, the Machine Must Work. That's the one that's just launched. But it has the whole selection, 11 pages worth of sales. You can go in, you can hop in on the banner, and it'll bring you straight to a selection of all of the sales for every single creator. My browser's giving me a hard time today. I don't know why. But you can go and you can break down every single one that we've gone over. We had Extra Byte on this schedule for tomorrow, which is really exciting. And She Must Work is right down here, which is for today. Plenty of stuff to go through. And even if it's not on sale, there's plenty to explore here on AE Scripts. If you've never been here before, really great site, really great resource. And we're great to have you. But Lloyd, you've had the site up since about the early 2010s, and it's changed a lot since its initial creation. Right now, it is the forefront of all of these plugins, although the competition has now, the pond's gotten a little smaller or bigger. Which is it? If there's more people, then it's a bigger pond has more people, but a smaller pond has less room for more people. So like it could be both ways. I don't know.
I don't know. I lost you there. But
what's the expression of
there's the saying? I think it's a big fish in a small pond, but I'm not sure how that applies here.
Oh, okay. Well, some fishing metaphor somewhere. An old man somewhere is like shaking his fist at the stream, screaming. So if you guys know it in the chat.
You feed them for a day, teach them how to fish. You feed them for life. I know them all.
You teach them After Effects, and you see what happens.
I am a father after all. I have to dole out all these wisdoms to my kids.
Yeah, you know, you got to get down. You got to get down on all your fishing metaphors. So we expect a report after this. Annika says we get the idea, so I appreciate the support. But one other thing I want to touch on before we bring in Henrique is for those of you who are watching this and are like, I'm kind of getting started off with Premiere, I'm kind of getting started off with After Effects, and I have some really cool stuff that I'm interested in maybe buying, but I'm just too nervous about the interface as it is already, and I don't want to have to worry about installing and keeping things up to date. I just want to bring around this AE Scripts and AE Plugins Manager that is free on the site. And when you log into the AE Scripts and AE Plugins account on this program, it'll load all of your plugins that you already have. And from there, it's just as easy as going and clicking install and then license and activate. And you can do that for more than one. It keeps it up to date when there's updates. It'll give you notifications at the top for when the sales are going on, even though the sales are only until tomorrow. And it's just a really easy way to keep everything rolling and really no hassle as to getting up and running for all of these awesome plugins that just seamlessly kind of work into your workflow. So make sure you check them out. And if you are hesitant about the technicality of setting up a plugin, have no fear. It's nice and easy.
And there's also humans at the other end of the support tickets. So if you
humans,
yeah, I know
you don't have robocallers.
I'm trying to figure out how to automate everything so we can all just be fishing all day.
Yeah,
but
we're not quite there yet.
No, but I mean, if you think about it, the site got started because I was trying to automate After Effects. So me trying to automate the site really shouldn't surprise anybody.
Yeah, and Annika's over on the Behance, putting in the URL for aescripts.com/contact, which is a really easy way to get in contact with the devs and also Lloyd. If you go to the homepage and go to support and go down to contact, you will be able to put in a support ticket.
Well, we should mention that you can actually check if you have a problem. You should enter your problem, like where do I find my license, or how do I reset my password? It will give you a list of FAQs. I don't want to say it, but 90% of the support tickets we respond to are answered in one of the FAQs. So do check the FAQs, and if they still don't seem to help you out, then go ahead and open the ticket.
And also,
don't jump to open the ticket unless you just want to chat. That's fine too.
Yeah, unless you just want to ask, Lloyd, how his day's going, which he's lonely. He wants to hear from you.
I do not answer the tickets anymore. Thank
God. There is a section on all of the products. This is Hover. We went over this yesterday. Brenton is actually in the YouTube chat. Thanks for coming in again. We had a really good time with you yesterday. Also calling out Christopher for the fish emojis. Appreciate the festivity. But over on here on the product page, you can see that there are comments. This is a good place to also check if you have an issue, if you want to see if anybody else has had the same thing. Now, if you put in a support ticket, it won't populate here, right?
No, those are the forums. The forums are not a place to get support. The forums are a place for you to be like, I love this product, or I don't like this product, a general thing. But, nobody wants to get into like, what are your machine specs on a forum thread. So if you're having an issue and you need direct technical support, please open a support ticket. As a matter of fact, you'll find that a lot of these comments are replied to with, please open a support ticket. So.
But just more places to check to find kind of more information about the plugin to get a good idea of the community. You can look up the version history and see when things have been updated if you're up to date, which you can also check in the plugin manager and things like compatibility. And that's next to the description, which normally has lots of tutorials for you and features and rundowns to get you up and running and answer any questions that you might have before opening up a ticket. So make sure you guys check those out.
Another tab worth mentioning is the knowledge base tab, which is essentially the FAQs again, but they're usually more, just the ones that are more directly applied to each product. So that's also, some products have specific FAQs and they would be listed there.
Absolutely. And so basically you can do a lot of research and troubleshoot your own, especially if it's 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday and you are working on a project that's due tomorrow morning and you don't have time to reach out. There is so much information all around the site where you can search and find some answers. But for the most part, a lot of these are just set up and go, and you just follow a tutorial and you should be good. But I don't want to keep Henrique waiting for too long, so I do want to go ahead and bring him onto the stream. We're really excited to have him. He is from The Machine Must Work, which I'm going to go ahead and put the link for The Machine Must Work into both chats for you guys, and you'll be able to see all 4 of the extensions that we're going to be going over today. But I'm going to let him talk about it. So with no further ado, how's it going? Hey, Henrique, thanks for coming on in.
Hello. Hello. Good.
It's good to have you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm rushing things around here to deliver this one in the last minute. Thanks, Light.
Oh no, it's great. I'm excited to hear about it. I mean, I have an idea of what it's going to do for us. I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but it is excited to have it launched today for the sale. It's also included in the sale. But I mean, before we even get into that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about your background, the machine must work, and basically where these products came from. So number one would be, what is the machine must work, and how do you relate to it?
I guess the name says it all. Pretty much tried of doing the same over and over. That's kind of what I started to specialize on, making the machine work, and yeah, you can sit back and just watch it. So it started with Clips Exporter, and it just evolved from there. It's been 4 or 5 months now that we started selling, and yeah.
That's great. I mean, welcome to it. It's nice and new. Now, do you have a motion graphics background? I know that a lot of your stuff is all Premiere based. So are you mostly a video editor, or do you consider yourself motion design?
I started with After Effects, actually scripting. That's usually where I guess it was more accessible back in the day. Writing some random expressions like Dan Everts and whatnot. And from there, then I started with Premiere when they started to show up with a bit of documentation and APIs. But mostly I started in After Effects, and then Premiere, just because I needed to do something, I started to automate on top of it. And that's how Clips Exporter started. It was just me trying to export some stock footage from a timeline, just some single clips, and there was no way of doing it.
And so it kind of came out of necessity, right? It came out of a problem that you ran into, and then you needed to find a solution for, so you made a solution for it.
Yeah, actually the 4 tools, like even the one we launched it today, it's all 4 of them. It's like me having a problem and then trying to do something about it.
Yeah. Also, I feel called out in the YouTube chat, by the way, because while you were talking, my plant fell over, and Duke said homie's plant is trying to get away. I've been taping this. This thing's normally up against a wall. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to break the fourth wall for you guys here. This is normally up against the wall, and so it's very top heavy. So I have this string that I've been taping to the ceiling during the streams, and at some point during the last 3 streams, it just decides to fall. But it happened really early today, so just gonna lay down.
Maybe this could be a drinking game. When Ryan's plant falls over, everybody's gonna take a drink.
Everyone take a sip. I mean, we'll just have a bunch of drunk editors and motion designers in the chat. I don't want to see what that looks like. But I don't mean to pull away from your background. I think that it's really noble of you to have these issues and just not only making a solution for yourself, but also going and then putting them up on the marketplace so that if other people run into the same issues and the same problems, they can come and they can have it solved by you. I do have the trailer for Text Replacer up and loaded, and I was just going to play it, and then we can talk a little bit about it. So here we go. Pretty cool. I mean, that can save you hours of time, especially if you need to create a batch of content of the same video and switch between the text. It can be different languages. It can be different state. I know for me, I was creating these promos for every single day of the sale, and I'd have to go through and update each text to go back to the day. Something like this would be really good to incorporate, and that way I can do all 5 days and just update the text, which is really neat.
We'll need to make sure to have Henrik on the first week of the sales, so that we can actually get to use it for the.
Got to think smarter, not harder.
But you know, another important thing is, like you just said, versioning, simple versioning in Premiere. We have several tools to do this in After Effects, but we did not really have one for Premiere. So that's why I was excited to get this out as well. And it's not only just from when you're working by yourself, but a lot of times you have your client or you have a producer or somebody who is got to go through and make sure that there's no spelling errors in the text, or there are last minute changes. So as you saw, it was connected to a spreadsheet, so they don't have to have anything to do with Premiere. They can just be in the spreadsheet, correcting things, and then you just process that spreadsheet, and you as the editor or the artist are not liable for any spelling mistakes or any other content errors, which is also
push it on the client. Wasn't my fault. Love to hear it.
It's just the reality of it, I'm like.
It's a wonderful practice.
I should have qualified my statement with, of course, clients never make any changes. So this is strictly theoretical situation I'm talking about here.
Yes,
this would never happen.
All hypothetical, never happens. This is useless.
But that's what we're all about. We're all about covering those hypotheticals just to make sure that whenever it does happen, we got you covered.
Absolutely. Now, Henrik, I know that we talked a little bit about doing some demo stuff. Did you want to do a demo with specifically Text Replacer, or do you want to do it on one of the other extensions?
I guess I'll just go through all of them in a quick way. Maybe first we can post the link for the giveaway in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Right with you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's in the StreamYard chat.
I actually set it up before I didn't know what time I was going to be on, so there is another 22 minutes left to enter the giveaway, so good luck, everybody.
This is fantastic. So I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in the streamer announcement on Behance for everybody. So I'm going to get rid of the see the sales here. But if you enter this giveaway, you have a chance of getting a promo code for any of the plugins that we go over today, and you can get a free little extension. So make sure you go in there. All you have to do is just add your information, and then we'll draw it at the end. So,
yep, perfect.
But yep, hop into that. Gleam.io, great website. Also for all the creators out there that do anything with live streaming or dealing with any sort of giveaway, if that's maybe on your social media or anything. I've used it too. It has such a crazy expanse of capabilities outside of just giveaways, but it is just a good site to check out if it's something that you're into. But that's a side thing. Anyway.
Definitely.
So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull up your screen share, though. And it looks like you've got something pulled up from the text switcher, which we just looked at. Or not text switcher, text replacer. And I'll let you take the floor.
Yep, sounds good. So I just want to go through all the extensions, and the first one will be Text Replacer, just because it's the newest one. So it's the same comp we saw in the same sequence we saw in the promo video. I'm just gonna go in here. Super simple. We have some straightforward options. This here is just checking which columns we're adding to the spreadsheet in case you wanna give your clients the sequence name, the track name for whatever reason, organizational reasons. You can add those. By default, we're leaving clip and property enabled here.
So you begin by creating a CSV of whatever content that you want, and then you go from there to then create the tracks and sequences that match that CSV, right?
Correct. No, sorry, the other way around. You get a CSV out of what you've done.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. So you build it first, and then you identify what you want to switch out. And that will then export one for you.
Yeah, so if I jump out here, for example, I have in this sequence, I have 4 motion graphic templates that I put on top here. And these are the 4 that we're going to see on the spreadsheet. So if I go back up in the hit export.
Henrik, I would turn on all of your optional columns just so that we can see what that all looks like.
Sounds good. So let's go back.
And I think Ryan touched on a good UX suggestion, is that maybe the export should be the first tab, since that's where you start, right?
Good point. Just got live.
Are all of your layers with your motion graphic templates, is that all just a text layer, or is there something special you have to do in order to get it to be ready to have conditional formatting?
That's a good question. The mogurts, as Adobe would call it, or like the templates, they should come from After Effects. Unfortunately, if you create a mogurt in Premiere Pro, or if you just go straight with like a simple text from Premiere Pro, that kind of information is not available to us as developers to then implement something like this. So you have to create your template in After Effects and then bring it in, and whatever you bring in, then you can change the text and everything.
Well, I mean, that's kind of common sense anyway, because After Effects is how you should be doing it, just because it gets really messy and really complicated in Premiere.
Sort of forces you to do it the proper way, I would say.
Yeah,
and you know, it's also worth noting that the scripting availability in Premiere is quite new, so they're quickly expanding it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they added more capability in this area soon, and I'm sure that this tool will be updated too.
Christopher Burnell says, "Love UX critique," by the way. So
live UX critique.
Live UX critique.
Hopefully, I'm not in trouble by the end of this.
No, not at all. It's great. I think that it's a really telling just to show how in tune you are to feedback and how aescripts has a really good reputation of just like listening to the users and growing products as things continue to be used more. And to Lloyd's point, there's a lot of changing on the Adobe side of things too. And so who knows how things will change over the course of the next few years, and this plugin will probably adapt with it as well.
Good. Did I export? I guess I didn't export, right? Let's go back again in here.
Export first.
So we're going to export everything.
So you just selected your sequence first and then export, right? It will automatically export any compatible text in your sequence.
Yes, it will pick up the active sequence, as we call it, and whatever mogurts are in it are then picked up.
Cool.
One thing to note that actually just happened to me is when you click export, it opens a save dialog file, and then there is a little bug in Premiere on Windows specifically that it opens behind Premiere, so I actually have to go in and find it. But we actually had support tickets about that already on other extensions.
So. That's a good one. That we should put that in an FAQ.
It's a weird. I think it's only on 2021, maybe 2020 as well. I would have to check, but we should definitely advise the users. So I'm just gonna save the spreadsheet here and go to my folder, open it up, because I don't want to bother everyone. I'm gonna paste in a translation that Google already did for me kindly.
Look at that. And that's cool that it shows you all the different breakdowns of the property, the clip.
So in this case, I have like sequence, the track, the clip, and the property. I enabled all of those. And then I'm just going to paste in some new columns with the translation. Just copy it in.
So anything in that third section is what you're going to be replacing the original text with, and you put that aside or next to, adjacent to the text that's already existing, right? So like
correct.
It has original text and has Austrian summer, and then next to it you want to change it to Verão Austriaco, and it just goes from left to right, right?
Correct. So the left columns are usually just things that we need. So the ID is the only super important one. And then the rest is optional. So sequence, track, clip, and property is just information in case somebody in the workflow needs it. Then the next one would be the original text that you're using to see as a reference to implement your translation or your new version.
So I know that in this example, we have 4 different things that we're changing out. I imagine that you've probably done some heavier stress testing. Would you be able to do like anything from like 15 to 20 updates if you had them across a longer project?
Do you mean 15 texts or 15 languages or?
Interchangeable, honestly. How many options can you put out, and how many?
There should be no limit. I sure tested longer than this, and yeah, it goes just fine. As long as it keeps finding the text, it keeps moving.
That's really big for accessibility and also for versioning of a bunch of different things. If you really need to do a huge batch, I know I used to work at an agency where we did a lot of pharma stuff, and there are a lot of legal specifications that you'd have to change for every single thing. And something like this could really help with having 20 versions of one video that has a small legal change in it.
Yeah, I think it's also good that you can keep because if you think about it, you can just implement these when you're exporting. So you're actually working on your one sequence, you make sure it's fine. When you then implement it, you get your new sequences, you export. If you know there is going to be a change that ripples down through all of them, you can just delete those sequences, do the change, and in one click you implement everything
again. And this is also, in the case of these pharma things, you could have a lawyer review it and have the lawyer approve that spreadsheet. So there's also sort of like legal implications that you can sort of check off really well.
Yeah, that's a great point. So now that you have the CSV, you're bringing it back into Premiere to.
So if we now want to bring it in, it's super simple. You can go into import. You can select that same spreadsheet.
And just from a workflow perspective, you would want to save this spreadsheet probably in your project folder so that you could go and just have it aside your project if you ever need to come back to it.
Yeah, would be definitely a good policy. So as soon as I import it, you can see that we get the 4 columns, the original text we had before, and also the new language. If I want to do only one,
you can name those whatever you want too, right? You could be like, Lloyd's version if you wanted to have a section instead of it calling, Spanish, right?
Yeah, correct. You can choose whatever. My screen is
and I don't know if you noticed that, Ryan. Ryan, I don't know if you noticed, but it added that as an underscore to the sequence name. So it created new sequences tagged with whatever you have as the header in the spreadsheet.
And that way you can navigate your project still, and you can see what is being directly correlated with whatever is updated.
And when you render the movies, they're going to also be automatically named after that version.
Oh, that's great.
Correct. And you can then choose which one you want to export. In this case, I would go with the 3 of them just to show. So if you select one, you can control click to get some other ones in. And I keep clicking in the wrong screen because I have a reference monitor going on.
It's live, that's how it always goes.
Yeah, I can generate a stats report file. I'm going to show you it gives you like a line by line of what happened with your report.
Oh, great.
So if I jump out, then we can see when we hit import, fingers crossed, we get new sequences.
Oh, yeah, you can see them right there on the left, just populating now with the little tag as well, like Lloyd was saying.
And here is our report. I'm going to just go in. So you can see you actually get like the sequence name that was created. And then if you get this nice check mark here, everything went well. If you get like a warning sign here, something went wrong. So in this case, it implemented all of them without no issues.
Yeah, Annika's saying so intuitive, which I definitely repeat that as well.
And here they are, named by the column you saw in the spreadsheet. We get 3 new sequences with the text implemented. Premiere doesn't update unless you scrub through sometimes. So if we just scrub through now, we have the German version here. We have our Spanish, verano. And we have Portuguese, because I'm Brazilian, verão austríaco.
I was trying to figure out where you were from. I was going to go with French. Man.
Yeah, I saw the way my name was pronounced. I was like, somebody thinks I'm French.
Sorry.
No worries, all good.
But okay, so you do a lot of different projects that are all on kind of usability and speeding up workflows. I think this is a really good transition into your selector extension that you also have for Premiere Pro. I think that when you're navigating these larger projects, I think that it's really good how you have the different comps. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play what we've got for the selector. It's a short little overview, and then we'll go talk about it. All right, so that's selector. That's also available right on the product page of the Machine Must Work. It is another really good speeder upper, I guess you could say, an efficient plugin to help your workflow. Where did this come from, and kind of how do you see using it?
Selector in this project that I'm in, I'm going to show as a demo because it's such a simple project, but I see it as a very useful thing when we have actually bigger timelines. For example, documentary or something like that. You can easily find super specific like clips from what type, what duration, by naming. If you open the drop down here, let me go in. We have a ton of filters that you can easily find any clip in there. For this project, for example, what I would use is, say, the client wants us to export some thumbnails later on. We are going to show our other extension later. And in the case of the thumbnails, they don't want to see all the text they put on top. They just want to see the image, maybe with an overlay or something. We could easily go in our quick access here and select the motion graphic templates. And then with that, we just disable all of them. Simple and easy. We have a clean image to work with.
So you don't even only have the capability of selecting things, but you also have the capabilities to make mass edits as like activation and deactivating layers within the tool. Which is
you select it and then you do whatever you want with it. So in this case, the activation, deactivation, it's me on the shortcut in the keyboard.
Oh, right on. Okay, cool. I did see though that you had 45 filters though. What's the 45 filters about?
I think we're up to almost 50 now.
Really?
So if you're dealing with clips, you can select, for example, by name or by which bin they are located in the project panel. By folder, this came as a feature request from a user. So this, if you select the in folder here, you can actually type a folder name. And if your clip is in a folder in the system that it's named this, then it's selected. So if you have footage that it's split by different cameras in your system folders, you can, for example, type the name of the camera and then you select and you get those clips selected.
That's great. Now, can I combine filters to do more specific things of like a chronological kind of selection of crossover ones?
Yeah, I wouldn't say you can add 45 filters because there are some of them that are self-excluding. So if you select, for example, in folder, the not in folder disappeared already because it didn't make sense. But you can add as many as it lets you, and the way it goes is it's stacking the filters. So a clip or an item has to pass through all of the filters to then be selected. One that it's quite handy that we just implemented maybe last week or a couple of weeks ago is something else that I should mention. You can click on the drop down and you can search for it. So if I want to select clips that are disabled,
it just populates as you type it out.
Yeah,
that way you don't have to go through the 50 that you have.
Everything.
That's convenient.
So once you have one that was also like a feature request from another user, it's disabled clips, because sometimes you have a big timeline, you work on it, you're enabling, disabling things, and when you want to send it out to color, for example, you have to delete those disabled clips because you don't want to keep them there. You want to clean your timeline. And with this, you can easily just select all your disabled clips, remove them, export an XML or something.
And what are some of the presets you have up there in the presets tab?
The presets is fully customizable. So in this case, I have one here that I'm going to show later. But the way the presets work is once you have a selection you're happy with, you can just go in and create a preset or a live preset. A preset is basically linking to those items that match the filter at the time. And the live preset is actually saving the parameters. And once you run it, it's actually filtering in again. So for example,
now, can that cross projects?
It's saved with the project.
Oh, so it saves within. So if I have it and I create a preset within a project and I save that project, I will always have
it's like a hidden file that goes beside the project in the folder. And the reason we save with the project is if, for example, I create an arbitrary selection here and I want to create a preset, I can just name it my preset, super creative, and I hit create. And this is now saved And the reason it's saved in the project is it's for these static presets, let's call them. They are actually looking for these exact clips here. So if I try to run this in another project, it won't give me anything. Only this project it will work.
Awesome. Cool. Well, then I know you said you had some other stuff you wanted to show. Do you want to touch a little bit on clip exporter?
Yeah, clips exporter is our original, our first one here.
The OG. So let's check out the trailer for it real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Sounds good.
Simple enough. It helps you break down different clips that you have in your timeline and just export them straight to a video. I know that I've definitely done this a lot where I've just quickly dragged a stock video in, trimmed it, and then had to go through the whole process. But then if there's more than one that I quickly trim down, then quickly becomes a headache. So that sounds kind of like where this came from, right?
Yeah, it's seems like a simple thing to do. You just want to get some clips out of your timeline or sequence, and in Premiere somehow it never got to be a feature. Right. And if you check online, there are tutorials, make nested sequences, make sub clips and whatnot, go one by one, and then you get maybe a weird naming because you have to rename each one of them. And with Clips Exporter, you're setting up your presets for how your naming is going to be. You can also filter clips, so the same as we did with selector, you can also filter here. Unfortunately, not as many filters because this one came first and we didn't go back yet to implement the same, but at some point we would like to also put the same list that selector has in here.
But it's cool you have one in there that's like ignore adjustment layers, which is helpful, especially if you don't want to have all the effects and changes of a project, but you just want the actual clips itself, but you don't have to worry about deactivating and activating layers.
Correct.
A simple rule like that can make a big change.
So you can, for example, ignore the adjustment layers. This would be one. The other thing that you can do that I think it's quite handy is if you have plenty of tracks here, if you just render the clips but all your tracks are enabled, you're gonna get a mess out of it because you actually need to render that clip and not all the tracks above or below it, for example. So when you go in here, you can then go in and say, for example, solo track. And what solo track does is every time it's rendering a clip, it's going to be solving the track that clip is in. So there is no interference from others.
Brilliant.
In this case, I would, for example, leave solo track off. I would disable my...
By the way, a common use case for this would be if you are sending your clips out to be color corrected by somebody else. You might have your own temporary color correction, but you want to send out the raw file to somebody to color correct. Once you've done your edit.
Or even if you only want a portion of your video and you don't want it to have to, render out the entire thing, but you just are like, this is the clip that we're using in this part at this length. It's a good way to also just export that and send that off.
Yeah. For this project, for example, what I would see as a usage is, let's say I just finished delivering this for the client and the client calls me and says, hey, can you send me every clip because somebody else is maybe going to do little other short videos or somebody's going to be using it and they want to use the same color correction and the same stuff we already applied. So you can easily then deliver whatever many clips you had in the timeline to the client, all separate. There is plenty of naming variables here that you can add to the file name. And just the most basic one is clip name, for example, that the client is going to get the clip with the exact same name, or you can, for example, add an underscore here, and then you could add the dates so they know when you exported it.
Oh, great. So it's all conditional.
Play with.
So it's cool there. You see that you have the export and you have it as the AME. Is that all within the script itself? You don't have to go into media encoder or anything like that. You can just click what you want and it'll export it as whatever format you want. within Premiere?
Correct. If you go and you leave AME off, what happens is it's just going to render straight out from Premiere, the same as if you were going to. I usually use a shortcut, but I believe it's here, file export, isn't it? Yeah. So if you go into here, file export media, it is the same as if you had gone there and, for example, set your in and out for the first clip, and then you exported the media, named the file the way you wanted, went back in, another one.
Now, Reverb Mike is asking,
the
is there a way to do?
It would take forever.
Is there a way to do a PSD sequence?
You can do any kind of presets because these are actually media encoder presets. So when you first open the extension, you're prompted to choose a folder where you keep your presets. And then it's linking to that folder, and it's always getting the presets from that folder. If you go into the preferences here, I currently have this folder listed as my presets folder. You can add even multiple presets folder if you want. So anything that you can create in media encoder, you can also then create here.
That's great.
And then the AME toggle here, it's if you want to keep Premiere free because you want to keep working, you can turn it on, and then it's just gonna kill all these clips to be rendered in media encoder, and Premiere is free for you to use.
Stellar. And just kind of keeping things moving along. If you don't have time to have something render out within Premiere itself and you want to throw it over to an encoder, or if you just want to do it in app itself, you can switch too. It's great.
Yeah, I think especially if you're having a big timeline, I would definitely go the media encoder way, and yeah. Or you go grab a beer and leave the machine working. That's what we're about.
Yeah.
I second that vote.
One last extension that I do want to touch on is your fourth one, which is thumbs up, and it deals also with passing things off to clients or that final process when you're going to export. And it's all about thumbnails. So let's watch that and we'll talk about that. Big thumbs up for thumbs up. That looks great, especially when you have to export to so many different ratios. It can be annoying to have to go and then not only make the ratios for the videos, but then you also have to do the ratios for the thumbnails. And if you're adding those overlays, it can be a huge pain. So it seems like this can speed things up. Before we hop on that, though, real quick, I see that John mentioned something in the YouTube chat. He said, can Clip Exporter export with handles? And I think he might be referring to the handles that you have afterwards with the date and stuff. Or
no, handles, he means as in, let's say I have trimmed my clip that I used in the timeline, and it's, I don't know, 5 seconds used, and I know this clip has another 2 seconds before and another 2 after. I can add handles, as in, for example, saying I want to export 1 second before, 1 after, in case you want to just cut later using the same clip. This has been requested. Unfortunately, with the current APIs, we can't implement it, but it's definitely on top of our list. As soon as Premiere lets us do that, we're putting it in because it's a must.
All right, good to know. And that's another thing where you just stay tuned. Make sure you check back, and you can see also when you download apps from aescripts and AE plugins, you automatically are eligible for the updates if they have updates within versioning. So you go in, and a lot of times I'll pop in. You can get emails when things are updated, and it'll be like, this feature is now available. So if you get it, you'll get the free updates as well.
Yeah, as a general rule of thumb, minor upgrades, so like version 1.1 or version 1.2 are all free. And then if major upgrades, like from version 1 to version 2, 2.0, that would normally be a paid upgrade. But we normally do some kind of an upgrade discount. That's pretty standard, I think, in the industry.
Yep. And super convenient, and also a good way to continue to support these developers as they continue to develop the programs that you rely on so much to increase your workflow. But back to thumbs up real quick. I know we're talking about thumbnails and being able to put things on top. Are you able to customize the overlays that you have placed on top of it? I saw that it was different for each thing that you had between square and 16
correct.
by 9.
So we ship it with just some basic social looking overlays that come listed when you first install the extension.
Very cool.
But ideally, first thing you do when you open the extension and decided to use it properly, I would say remove all of this, bring in your overlays, maybe your logos or something that you need on your channel, and then you're set up to really use it. So also came this one to me as a time saver when I was doing this for work, and we have on my day job we have a channel that every video has a corner logo from the company. If I have to do that for every video, it gets tiring.
Oh yeah, it gets tiring after the second one. That's
this way thing. You set it up. If you have recurring clients and things like that, it's even easier. You set it up once and then you're just using it.
Christopher Bernal says increase workflow equals make more money, which is a great. I should put that as like a little poster next to mine.
And sorry about my screen; it's going crazy here with all the streaming news and whatnot.
Oh, trust me, I have felt your pain before. It is no surprise. But this is a really good overview. As you're kind of working that to have it catch up, I think that we could really call out thumbs up for YouTube creators as well, especially. I know that a lot of people like to have branding, and the idea of like consistency is key so that people can always tell it's the same thing. As he was saying, it makes it better if you have to put a logo on the top, but you could also do even like a frame of some sort around every thumbnail if you wanted to. You could just put call outs and titles, and you can create all of those in Photoshop or something and then just bring them right on over.
Correct. And it's super simple. All you have to do is give a PNG to the extension. So for the size that you plan on using, that you get the proper placement.
And it's also nice to see that you have those presets of YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook already baked in there so that you don't even have to really worry about remembering all of the dimensions for each of these thumbnails. You can just go in and you can click the ones that you have preset, and
yeah, you could use these as a guideline. I'm gonna be brave, even with the machine going crazy here and not working. I'm gonna hit create stamps, and I either see you in the future or we'll see what happens.
All right, let's see what happens.
See what happens. I have Photoshop open, so that's a good start. And yeah, Photoshop is already working down here. Probably a bit slower than usual, but it's gonna do its thing. We can probably have it here maybe if you guys are up for it.
And so that's just pulling from the selection as to at what point does it grab the thumbnail? Like, is it just wherever the active
time
cursor is, active time in the timeline is?
So whatever your timeline, whatever frame you have here, it's what it's using. It also runs in After Effects, so in that case, the frame from the composition would be used. Mm-hmm. And if you want to run it from within Photoshop, you can also do that. It's just going to use your active document, so the document that you have open, it's then putting the overlays in and resizing it.
So on the back end, how is this working? Is this taking the picture and saving it as a temp, like PNG or JPEG, into like a temporary folder and then opening that in Photoshop, or does it save the image file next to the project? How does it kind of make its way over to Photoshop?
It saves when you're in Premiere or After Effects, it's saving the frame as a temp, brings into Photoshop, places the overlays, saves the file types that you chose, because here you can choose either to save PSD, JPEG, or PNG, or all of them in this case. Once it finishes everything, then it's removing that temp.
Oh, awesome. So that doesn't
even
clog up
your system.
I have
a relative path for the project folder here. So if I go into my project and the machine doesn't freeze, we should see that some frames are already popping up here. Yeah. Yeah, it's super slow. Sorry about that, but it's writing some files.
No, but I mean, you can already see right there the convenience of just having it automatically populate and then open in Photoshop. And then if you need to go back, if you save it as a PSD, you can go and you can edit it yourself. But at least it speeds it up and gets it so that what you see is what you get off of the timeline, and then you go from there.
Yeah, and you can, if you want, you can choose these file types, but you can go into preferences as well, and you can choose to keep the Photoshop document open, so it doesn't even close it automatically. To keep it open for you, and if you want to do any changes, something, yeah, you could just save it as choose to have just a PSD, and choose to keep it open. You can maybe tweak it, modify it, save it, and it's exported.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, that is all the 4 plugins that we have from you for The Machine Must Work. Like we said, Text Replacer is brand new, which is exciting. You guys should check it out. You saw how good it was. We went a little bit over how it could be good in a legal setting, on a client setting, relations. It's really exciting. Did you want to do the giveaway towards the end, or do you want to give it some more time?
No, we can do it. I actually made it so that it would finish during the live stream already.
Oh, okay. All right. So if it's still open, should we just tell people to really quick add their information?
It's already closed. It's closed.
It already closed.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the early bird gets the worm contest.
Yeah. You better be watching live, otherwise you lost it.
So do you want to pull it up on your screen? Oh, well, actually, I don't know if it'll dox people or not. Maybe you'll just see it. But before we close out, I want to see if we can grab that. Oh, this is cool. And like kind of like we were saying earlier. Oh, hello to Lara. Also, welcome to the stream. We're just about to close out, but if you want to just go through once again, if you're just joining us, we're going over Machine Must Work. Lots of really cool Premiere focused extensions to really speed up your workflow. And you can check out all the other sales also just by going to aescripts.com. Tomorrow we're going to be having Extra Byte on, which is creators of Gritter 2, Origami, VG Renderer Max, and my favorite and first plugin that I ever got from aescripts, which is GIF-Gun, and I use all the time. And we'll be talking about that, which I'm excited about.
Woo-hoo! I'm going to have to say goodbye only because I have to go pick up my son, but I will leave it in good hands. You guys do a giveaway. Congratulations to the winner in advance, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Lloyd. Have a great night, and see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Then there were 2.
Good. So I have it here now. We'll make it 3 winners. We give 1 license per winner.
Ooh.
You guys then each winner can choose one of the extensions that we sell, which one you prefer, and we can send you the 100% discount code as it is.
Ooh. All right. And so do you have the names for those people?
We have first one, Albert Malonzo. I hope I pronounced it correctly.
Oh, I'm gonna press the club in for these. Congrats to Albert. Nice. You got 100% off one of them.
Next one, Barry Behanon. I hope I said it
Barry.
Properly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Barry's in here. He's in the chat. I see him. He was talking about the handles and talking about helpful tools. So good to have you. Congratulations, Barry. And then you said we have one more.
Nice. Yeah, last one here. It's Christian Lopez.
All right, and Kristen, congratulations. I'm gonna press it one more time. I didn't press it for Barry, but I didn't want to have to press it 3 times. Like it would annoy you guys. So we'll do one more time. Here we go.
Perfect.
We're really
and
glad
I have their contact here, so I can then tomorrow I'll send an email out to each one of them, and we can see which product they would like.
Oh, Reverb Mike says, my boss gives me a look every time you do that. Sorry. Tell your boss to watch us so that they're a little bit more excited about the noises. Maybe they could have won something had they entered. But it's great. We're really excited. Christian is going, woohoo, awesome! As is Barry. Annika says, congrats to all the winners. We're really excited to be able to offer this to you guys. And thank you so much for offering this to people. That's really noble of you. And if you didn't win, you should still check out the extensions. look into getting them because they're 25% off for just one more day, and they can save you lots of time. Cool. I know that obviously you just launched within the last hour this text replacer, and you said that you'll be continuing to work on maybe updating some of your other plugins. We look forward, obviously, to seeing whatever comes next from you. But where can people catch you online? Do you update a lot on Twitter or Instagram or anything?
We post on a bit about products, I'll be honest. I try to do more, but in between developing and posting, it's usually let's do another feature and skip the social posts. So probably should
I feel that. Absolutely. I mean, that's noble in itself just because, it continues to grow the product. So
yeah, but you can definitely find us on Instagram at The Machine Must Work, on Twitter at The Machine Must W, because I ran out of characters for my handle there. So.
Oh, come on, Twitter. Come on. How annoying.
And we also have a Facebook page. Yeah. LinkedIn as well. Yeah, we're on Reddit. We're trying to be everywhere, but not really being that active.
No, I feel that. It's a whole nother job to just do that. But also, you guys can always check out aescripts.com/author/s-g-0/0. The Machine Must Work. So just search for The Machine Must Work on aescripts.
It should be easier.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put that link in one more time. But if that's everything that we have for today, we want to thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for walking us through that. I know we kind of sped through it. I just wanted to make sure that we had time to cover all the ground. And it's been a pleasure having you. We hope to have you on again if this happens in the future.
Yeah.
Meet you.
No, I think it was pretty cool. Yeah. Probably my first time doing something like this, and not
really?
So bad.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was super smooth. I would not have guessed it was your first time. So
I'm usually recording the tutorials like pre-recording, so you get to do more mistakes.
But now you can do it live and that you're fully capable of it. So we expect many live streams in your future.
Well, let's see how that goes.
Yeah, right. We'll see. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, Ryan. Have a good one.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for today. Just under an hour. We will be back tomorrow, like I said, with Extra Byte. And we also have one other guest, which I will have playing in just a second. I have to look it up. His name's Gabriel, I believe. Laura's saying I'm digging all of your plants. Thank you. We were watching as this one fell over earlier today. Yeah, it's a big one. I bought this one when he was like, a foot tall, and he's just continued to grow. He used to be more of a bush, but then I cut off a lot of the ends, and he ended up growing into a very sad looking figgy tree thing. I don't know. Also, these were like really big in interior design for a little bit. Now they are kind of overused. So we'll see how long this guy lasts. I should also propagate, but when I propagate, I normally kill plants on accident. Annika says, just as a reminder, you can now subscribe to Ryan Selvey on Behance. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. If you guys are interested in checking out what my live streams look like when I'm not doing AE scripts and AE plugins, make sure you check out my Behance, behance.net/Ryan Selvey. And we do a lot of motion graphics, and I like to go over different plugins that I'm using and walk through them and also learn stuff while we're doing it. So if you're looking for some motion graphics live streams, make sure you check out my Behance. It's really good getting to see everybody over here on the YouTube as well. I'm really enjoying doing these streams. I will be back tomorrow from Florida, so we won't have this background. Your boy's going on vacation, but I have time for one more stream tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And it's gonna be great. So I hope to have you guys there. And we'll be going through some really cool plugins. Like I said, we'll be going over GIF Gun, which is my first plugin, and I think I saw somebody else said it was their first too. Yeah, Connor said that it was his first plugin as well, and it's extremely useful. And you can just get GIFs straight out of After Effects, and it is what was I gonna say? It's on sale. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, because that's why we're here. It's all on sale. But that's it for me for today. Once again, I'm Ryan Selvey. It was a pleasure having you guys. Reverb says that his first was Edit Detector. Ooh, which I don't even know what that is, so I have to look into that. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again for tuning in. Check out those sales, and I will see you guys on the flip side. enjoy. Bye. Oh, wait. Jack says, wait, what does Keep Gun? Tell me more. I'll tell you tomorrow. You got to show up at 4 p.m., baby. You didn't miss it. You'll only miss it if you're not there tomorrow. But tomorrow, it's there. Laura, by the way, says, thank you. I'm still figuring out what to buy. So many cool things. Yep, you guys got 1 day left. 1 day left. And Jack says, okay. So Jack's going to be here first thing. Jack's going to, be the first in the chat. We'll be excited to see. I guess before I run the outro, I should say thanks to a bunch of people. Henrique, Albert, Elise, R. Franco, Duke, Breton for coming back from yesterday. Annika, of course, Mod Squad, Randall. We have Milton. We have, I'm hoping I'm not missing anyone. Barry, Christian, and then in Behance, we have Annika, Jack, Katarina, Laura, Megan, Randall, and Reverb Mike. Or always that goat scream when you need it. But ciao, goodbye. Thank you, everyone. I know I've said bye like 4 times now, but now it's time to leave for real. Take it easy. Have a great day.